Welcome to this teaching for the Zoll ventilator. In this video, we are using a disposable circuit which is recommended for infection control purposes. With your disposable circuit, the patient's end goes to a HME. The circuit goes on the machine end. The blue gas hose, white goes to silver for isolation valve. Green goes to green for transducer. If you are using this ventilator on a COVID-19 patient, put a HEPA filter on the fresh gas intake. The other HEPA filter goes before our exhalation valve. Make sure your connections are secure. If you are using a HMEF in your institution, you do not need a HEPA filter here. Oxygen source comes from this high pressure oxygen hose. Make sure it's screwed on tightly to the ventilator. The other end would go to either your wall source or oxygen tank. When you're using this in the room, make sure your power cord is connected firmly to the ventilator. There is a triangle on the power cord that would match the triangle on the ventilator. When you push it in, you'd hear a click sound. When your circuit has been connected, you are ready to put it onto your patient. Okay. Before I use the circuit on my patient, I need to do a pre-use check of the circuit and the ventilator. First, turn on the ventilator. There will be certain settings that we'll be putting in for the pre-use check. First, I will use AC/VC mode. I'll be setting a set breaths per minute of 12. My respiratory rate alarm limits will be 25. And 8. My set volume will be 500. I to E ratio of 1:2.5. PEEP of 5. And FiO2 of room air. Connect to a test lung. The first alarm that I need to test is the patient disconnect alarm. When I disconnect it from the test lung, the patient disconnect alarm should come on. There are no audio alarm now because it's within my first 2 minutes when there's an alarm silence. There are 11 seconds left to the alarm silence right now. Connect it back to the test lung and we will test the manual breath function. Just push the button once and the test lung should inflate. Notice that the audio alarms have come on. After the alarm has resolved, it automatically goes away by itself. Now I'll be testing the high airway pressure alarm using a gloved hand. Occlude the patient's end. High airway pressure alarm should come up. Once I release it and connect it to the test lung, the alarm should resolve by itself again. After that, I need to test the ventilator on 10 breaths. So after 10 breaths, if there are no red or medium alert alarms on the ventilator is safe to use on your patient. If you look at your ventilator, starting from the bottom, this button corresponds to this rectangle. Similarly for all the rectangles and buttons above it. Starting with the mode, in order to change your mode between AC, SIMV, or CPAP, I just need to turn the wheel and confirm with the tick. Notice how it's changed to SIMV mode. I can also choose between volume and pressure. To change it back to volume, I just need to click on it twice so that it's highlighted, make the change, and confirm with the tick. Moving upwards, we have breaths per minute. Breaths per minute, we can change it by clicking on the button here. We also have the I to E ratio and alarm limits for high and low respiratory rate. Alarm limits are denoted by the alarm bell above the smaller numbers over here. If you want to change from I to E ratio to inspiratory time, you can press and hold this button. The red menu comes up. Confirm that this is what you want to change, and then confirm the change. Notice how it changes to TI over here. This is our tidal volume that we're going to deliver to the patient. In this pressure window, notice that the PIP, peak inspiratory pressure, is a hollowed out number. This means that it's a measured value instead of a setting. Notice when I press the button, I'm unable to choose it at all. The PIP is a measured value. I can adjust my PEEP and pressure limits. Moving upwards, we have our FiO2. FiO2 ranges from room air to 100% on this ventilator. Click on it and adjust with the wheel accordingly, and then confirm your change. Moving downwards, we have a pressure indicator. This shows how high your peak inspiratory pressure is. Over here, we have our minute ventilation, mean airway pressure, total respiratory rate, if your patient is breathing above the set rate, I to E ratio. This symbol denotes that you are connected to electricity. If you are disconnected from electricity, you can silence it or cancel it with this red cross. Notice that the LED light was amber. This is a medium priority alarm. As long as you have sufficient battery left, which is denoted by this percentage over here, you can still operate the ventilator. This means that you are connected to an oxygen source. The mode that you are using is also shown here, and this is one pressure time graph. One thing to take note of on this Zoll ventilator is if our FiO2 is anything less than 100%, it entrains air from the fresh gas intake at the side. It should not be occluded by any linen, patient clothing, or blankets. Once it's covered, a red high alert comes on. The only way you can resolve this alarm is to turn off your ventilator and restart it. Now your ventilator is in AC-VC mode. Set respiratory rate is 16, Is to E ratio of 1:2. Frequency alarm limits are 45 and 6. Tidal volume is set at 400. Peak inspiratory pressure is 13. PEEP is set at 5. Alarm limits are set at 40 and 9. And FiO2 of 100%. If you have a high airway pressure alarm, the name of the alarm comes up here. Red LED lights. Do not panic. First, silence the ventilator. Check your patient. Check the ventilator circuit. And if needed, do an urgent X-ray. General troubleshooting tips come up here, but be careful that they may not apply to your patient. Once the cause of the alarm resolves, the alarm should go away automatically. Another possible alarm that might come up is patient disconnect. Do not panic. Press the alarm silence button. First, check whether the ETT is still connected to the ventilator circuit. Check whether your pressure and exhaust green and white lines are still connected to the ventilator. Once you secure all the connections, the alarm should go away. Now you're in AC pressure control mode. Notice P, your breaths per minute. Now the tidal volume is hollowed out number because it is a measured value, and our peak inspiratory pressure is a solid black number. A possible alarm that you might see in this mode is the low tidal volume alarm. When this alarm comes up, notice the name of the alarm here, red LED lights. Do not panic. Press the alarm silence first. Check your patient. Check the ventilator circuit connections. If needed, do an urgent chest X-ray. Once the reason for the alarm resolves, the alarm should go away automatically. Demonstrating how to change mode to pressure support ventilation. First, you go to the button next to mode, highlight it, change it to PSV or CPAP, and then you confirm. You should see the alphabets PPV come up. This is PSV for invasive mode of ventilation. Going upwards, you see that the breaths per minute now are hollowed out numbers. This means that it's a measured value and not a setting. Tidal volume is also a measured value. We have PEEP over here, which is still a setting, as shown by the black numbers. We have peak inspiratory pressure. However, you do not see pressure support. In order to set our pressure support, we need to press and hold the button next to the pressure rectangle. You see over here, pressure support comes up. Adjust with the wheel to what we need. 8, for example, and confirm. You will see pressure support of 8 come up over here. In order to set the apneic settings, press and hold the mode button. We can see mode menu, breaths per minute, peak inspiratory pressure target, and I to E ratio. Take note that the peak inspiratory pressure target will include our PEEP, meaning our driving pressure will be 20, -5, or 15. If we want to decrease it, we can go to PIP target, confirm that you want to make this change, adjust accordingly, and confirm.